Well, first of all, what I want to say is congratulations for taking the time and the energy to say, I'm in. Raise your right hand and say, I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in. Because what I mean by that is you're no longer sitting on the sidelines. You're no longer just watching, something on television and you're bemoaning it and saying, oh, isn't it awful? And oh my God, and blah, blah, blah. And give me another drink or another beer or smoke a cigarette or whatever the level of addiction might be around you. So when you say I'm in, what you're saying is I'm going to pick up my instrument and I'm going to play my song. And not only that, I'm going to invite all of the others. So together we become an orchestra of light. Think about that for just a moment, an orchestra of light. So music already, of course, is an incredibly healing and beautiful, beautiful gift to humanity. But what has not yet risen is the orchestra of the divine feminine. The orchestra of the divine feminine. And what really is that? It's your passion, your power, your peace, your love, your gift, and truly your willingness to suit up, to show up, and to say, I'm in. And when you do that, more and more what begins to happen is that your light becomes a beacon to the others who are coming out of a little bit of darkness in their cave, carrying their dusty old instrument, right, having to brush away the cobwebs. Maybe they have to open the carrying case and remember what their instrument was. But you become a beacon for them to realize, you know what, I do have a part to play. Not too long ago, we spoke to Ariana. She was a little discouraged by having to go somewhere she didn't really want to go because she was seeing it in a certain way. It's all right if I share that, right? You were seeing it in a certain way as some sort of defeat, when rather what's happening is all of you are being called to play your part where you are most required and where you are most effective. And that is why some of you will travel, some of you will move, some of you won't, but all of you will begin to recognize, I have a part to play and I don't want to do it alone anymore. And if I play the violin, how lovely to have a cellist nearby. And if I play the drums, how wonderful to have the pianist come and accompany me. And so you begin to realize we're not in competition, but cooperation does sort of ask and invite you to figure out, oh, what is your instrument that you like to play? You know, our lovely Lori, you just give her nature and the Native American ways and off she goes, right? And many are not familiar or even comfortable with what does that mean? Wear a feather in my hair. Oh, isn't that disrespectful, right? And so what's happening is that you are being invited to take what you have been through in your life and consecrate it. Take a moment and think about that. What you have been through in your life that perhaps was very painful or very difficult or very disheartening, and to move it in such a way, to consecrate it in such a way that it rises up and becomes light. I'm going to come back to Lori for just a moment, because if you think about the legacy of the Native peoples, not only of America, but all over the world, right? What happened to them? This atmosphere of conquering, disempowering, subjugating, left them broken in many ways. And yet the legends hold, the prophecies hold, and they are coming back. And so we have a lot to learn from them. Their resilience can teach women, especially, about what struggles we have been through how much we have been disempowered, how difficult it has been for us to rise up and live our full strength and full power. And so begin to think about, what was my curriculum? What were the challenges that I faced? What were the disempowering things that happened to me that now I will say, not on my watch? And Barbara, that's part of what woke you up. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. There's something I can do. And it tugs at me every day until I say, all right, all right, all right. But that's what's happening. Each and every one of you has gone through a very specific curriculum, I'm going to say, of denial. What was denied to you that you can now bring forth and offer to others? What was denied to you? And for almost everyone, what was denied to you was the recognition of your creative potential. Right? The recognition of your creative potential, and then the nurturance of that creative potential. All right, by a show of hands, how many of you had wonderful parents that gave you everything you needed to be who you wanted to be? So there we are. There we are. And all of that, in a way, is painful, but in another way, what it does is it says, what was I hungry for? What mattered to me? Where was I left out of the equation? Where did my heart not receive the love and nurturance that I would have so appreciated? And you become that. You become what you were denied. I'm going to say that one more time. You become what you were denied. And in that process, now you become not only a beacon of that, you become a chalice of that. You become a chalice of that. Because you realize, as I fill myself with what I had been denied in the past, I'm a better teacher, I'm a better person, I'm a better woman, I'm a better guide. And most of all, I feel integrated with my song, my soul song. I'm playing my part and I'm being that instrument. And so in that process, what begins to happen is that you are playing your part, you're playing your song. And now here come the other orchestra members, right? And you meet each other like old souls. Almost everyone on this call, if you had a chance to be in each other's physical presence, you'd be like, oh, you again. Yes. Yes, you again. When Ariana and Samara met, I don't know, however long ago, years ago, it was like, oh, you again, right? And that's really what it is, because all of you, those on the call right now, and all of you that will listen, I want to tell you something very specifically and clearly. You chose to come now. I know you're saying, what was I thinking, right? I know. You chose to come at a time when there was the most to lose and the most to gain. You came to birth the power of the divine feminine in a world that for too long has not seen it, and certainly never fully experienced it. And the power of the divine feminine has to be coupled with the inner power of the divine masculine. Without it, you're all just wonderful, glorious water, no container. The glorious masculine is your instrument, if you think about it. So if it's a violin, you're playing the violin. If it's to be a medicine woman, that's your instrument. And so what's important is to realize what Mother Teresa said so beautifully, which was prayer without action is no prayer at all. Prayer without action is no prayer at all. And so all of the prayers that we've been saying all of these years are wonderful, but now it's the time to say enough is enough, not on my watch. And that's the masculine. The masculine is the part of you that takes that inspiration, that takes that joy, that takes that expression and idea and says, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And you do it. You do it. Knowing that in the arena is the place where you all need to be right now. That's a little thanks to Brené Brown, who was quoted last night. If you haven't read her book, please read it. And so today, I really want to say, take some time in the next day or so and think about, what was I denied that I can now fill myself with and give to others? Recognition, love, peace, inspiration, joy, comfort. You know, they're often qualities. So just be with the little girl of 7 or so and think about, what was she missing? What didn't she receive? And how can you embody that now? Because that's the part your song is meant to heal in the world. There are so many opportunities and so many ways to play that I just want you to kind of hang with that for just a moment. And we're going to invite those of you that are ready to raise your hand to share how you want to play even more in your life, in your world, because we're going to hold that and support each other in the dreams and desires of what you want to play. And I'll start with just saying about, for Samara, what she's doing right now is her way of playing in a larger realm, to share what I can say, to share what she would like to say, and to share the sisterhood. Because what she was denied was sisterhood, belonging, community, family. And you have become her family. So let's see. I'm going to bring Tammy back for just a moment. Because we don't have our hand thing on the computer quite right, if you would literally just raise your hand, those of you that are on the video. All right. Can we hear also from you?
Hi, Samar. Hi, Mother Mary. I met you in April in Sedona. You were transformative in the past 5 months of my life, and thank you. I'm a writer. I write books. I'm writing my spiritual book right now, and I want to be a spiritual teacher through that book. And my instrument is my keyboard. So I never thought of it that way. Thank you so much. This is really powerful. I love everything you're saying, and I'm grateful that you're sharing your words with us today.
Thank you, and keep playing.
Okay.
Every time you're writing in your book, think of it as your piano, right? And we see it being incredibly successful. And so later, you know, Samara's gone for a week or so. Email her some information about your books, and she's going to put it out to everyone in the group. And we're going to get the word out even more for your beautiful stories.
Thank you very much. Thank
Much
you.
love, darling. Much love.
Thank you.
So Frances.
Frances.
Yeah, hi. Well, there were many things that were denied, but I right now what I'm feeling that I would really like to develop and share is my voice. Whether it's singing, toning, talks, teaching, and also writing. I really feel very strongly that this is a good time to begin to write about my life. I've been asked to do that for years and years, and I didn't, because I didn't think it was important. I didn't think I was important enough to write about my life. So now is the time, and I feel inspired to do that.
We see it happening, and we encourage you, and keep singing, darling, because every time you do, it opens up all the voices, right? All the voices of writing, the voices of teaching, all of it. But singing and chanting is one way to do it. So we see it, we love it. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, Barbara.
So my speaking gigs weren't going as I had hoped, which was what I was dedicated to doing. And something came over me with the children's immigration issue. And I wrote a children's book. And, you know, I'm not quote unquote a writer, but I wrote it in 5 days and I love it. And Mother Mary is all through it. But now she literally is all through it, through Samara. And oops. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. And so now I'm, figuring out how the technical stuff, which is a lot harder than the inspiration and the creativity, that came in a heated rush. And it's hard, but I love it. And I can't wait to get it out in the world.
I'm so glad you said that, Barbara.
So what I would be committed to doing,
Excuse me, if you're on the phone, please mute yourself.
friend each other now.
There's a background noise, excuse me.
I can take a look at what you're doing on your own.
All right, we have somebody on the phone that needs to mute themselves. Sorry about that. I just can't mute on here. No, advanced settings. There we go. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. What I wanted to say, Barbara, is that this issue of the technology, as part of what Samara is dealing with too, technology, is the masculine. So I want you to see it as if you were partnering with your beloved husband, right? Which always has a little bit of love, but a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? As any partnership. And invite the beauty of your divine feminine to dance with the beauty and strength of your divine masculine in such a way that you are feeling not only the joy of the creation that just poured out of you, that beautiful inspiration, but now you're standing up for Barbara and you're standing up for those children. So imagine that each time you're faced with a technology issue, it's as if you hear those children crying, right? Which is what touched me so deeply. And it's like, okay, I hear you crying, but what I have to do is make sure that the paperwork is this, or the font is that, or whatever the issues are you're dealing with. So I'm doing it for you. So when you translate it into I'm doing it for you, help me channel it into creative expression rather than frustration.
Yeah, that would be great.
We see all of you doing that. Look at all the writers we've got going here. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes.
Yvette?
Yvette.
Yes. Hi, Mother Mary. I'm not sure I remember the question, but what I was going to share is that I want to be a force for, or setting the bar for women to see how they can make a living and make a good living on their own without needing a man, which is what I've always thought in my life. And now that I'm single, I am having to figure that out. And I want to become a force for showing them how to be economically free, to be able to use their resources, financial resources, to be out in the world and helping with whatever feminine movements they want to help with, or masculine for that matter too.
Beautiful. And what I want to say is this. What I want to say.
We have an echo. Go ahead and mute yourself.
Yvette, mute yourself one more time. Thank you.
And Francis.
Thank you. This is so important. One of the reasons that this sisterhood is so impactful potentially, is that what we'd like to do very shortly, and you'll have an opportunity, Samara will be sending out an actual newsletter with links and stuff, and you can join and all of this and that. But the important thing is to realize, Yvette, what you need more of are success stories to seed your program. Now, Tammy and Samara are in this year-long program called Entrepreneurial Leadership Academy, which is all about helping everyone rise and make a living, a good living, by being who you are. Okay, so they're both learning a tremendous number of important things. But what I want to tell you right now, Yvette, is as you begin to gather some stories, and what I mean by that are actual women who have left the security, whatever that's supposed to mean, of, you know, marriage or whatever, and have made their own life, and begin now to find them, interview them, and get their permission in writing to share some of their stories. You could have this as a Facebook group, right? That you invite people to. You could have a blog about it that you invite people to, because as you begin to gather these stories, several things are going to happen. You are going to feel so much more confident about, but it's not just me, Yvette. Look, there's this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, that one. And also you will be finding out how to do it. What held you up when you were falling down? What were the techniques and strategies that you used? And so you're a very good researcher, Yvette. And so what you want is more research. And by doing that, and some of the very women on this call might be willing to interact with you in this way, what happens is you now begin to truly be more of an expert with a community that is all about this and is sharing ideas and inspiration and thoughts and all of that. And so that's going to help propel you in the coming weeks and months to know your audience and have these wonderful stories. And along with that, you can engage at the local library or wherever to have a free night where you talk about, have you ever wanted to leave the rat race? We'll put it that way, or something like that, right? Have you considered leaving the rat race? Come on down and I'll show you how to get out of the maze. So what happens is you just need some more interactions like that to build the community and to have sort of that juiciness of all of those stories. All right.
Let me check. It's 1:30.
12:30. Okay. So in the last few minutes, what we're going to do now is rev up our Reiki Dream Energy build for everyone on this call, along with some others that we want to name. Samara was told this morning about a young woman, the niece of one of the gals who's here, who has 3 little children and has very severe cancer right now. And her name is Cara, C-A-R-A. So we're going to put her into the prayer circle, that whatever is for her highest good take place with ease and grace. And if that's a magnificent healing, so be it. Because what we're going to do today is pray for each and every one of you, that your instrument gets all polished and shiny, and that you are able to be in your orchestra in the way that is most beautiful and lovely for you. So let's just take a moment and consider anyone or anything that you would like to send light to. And to remember that we're sending it now in the here and now from wherever we are. But also, for those of you that heard last month's transmission, we're sending it all the way back to the causal plane, the plane of cause, C-A-U-S-E, where the separation and the pain began. So for this young lady that has cancer, for instance, we don't know, I'm just using it as an example. Perhaps it was a feeling of being overwhelmed by life. And so now the cancer is overwhelming her body. So you see, we do both. We send Reiki and love and energy. For those of you that don't know Reiki, it's all right. Just send what you know. So we send it to the current circumstance, but we also send it all the way back to the causal plane, where all of you came from infinite love and infinite light and infinite joy. So take just a moment and imagine. You can hear the John Lennon song, right? Playing in the background. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Imagine all the people without countries, without boundaries, without prejudice, taking care of each other, loving each other, celebrating each other. Imagine each of you playing your instrument in its perfection, the song of your life, the song of your love, the song of your purpose and passion. And imagine that. If you like to hold your hands up, it's fine. And send it out. Send it out to each other, to this magnificent world, to all beings everywhere. And now turn your hands to you and realize what I'm saying now. I am the radiant light of God, living in the body of, and just fill in your name. I am the radiant light of God, living in the body of your name. I am the radiant light of God, living in the body of I am. And now just bring your hands back to your heart for just a moment. And just realize in this precious half hour or so that we've spent together, you have shown up for the orchestra. You have said, I have an instrument to play, and I choose to play it.
That was Coco. She just wants to meet us there at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So I send you all so much love. I send you the beauty of the redwoods wherever you are. And just know you're not alone. You're not alone. You are never alone. You are never alone. And you never will be alone. And I am with you. Much love.
Namaste.
Okay, well, this is Samara and Tammy back to sign off in just a moment. And I'm so grateful to all of you for joining us today and for being a part of my heart and a part of Tammy's heart. And I look forward to the next time. It'll be 11:11. I'll try to make a more convenient time. And we will be soon getting out the recording and the newsletter. And just know you are greatly, greatly loved, and we rock. Put your thumbs up and say, we rock. We rock.
rock.
Awesome.
You guys are awesome. Love
Much
you
love.
all. Love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Keep doing, keep singing, keep chanting. Okay. Bye.
We
Bye
love
bye.
to hear your voice. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.